Have you ever stood up to speak in front of a group of Samoans, whether it's your family, at church, village gathering, and you kind of froze because you didn't know how to address the dignitaries who are present? If that has ever happened to you, this video is for you. So welcome to Lau Aganuu Faasoa. If this is your first time, my name is Matuanalua Oloie Ale Malo, and this channel is dedicated to preserving the arts of oratory, the skill set of a Samoan tulafale, or a talking chief. And today we're going to dig into Faalupega or Faalanginga and why it's important. So let's get into it. So what is Faalupega? So Faalupega is the honorifics salutations of a village, of a high chief, a high talking chief, even, Sa'oka Maikai, which Taupo, Aumanga, almost every part of a Samoan village community has a Faalupega or Faalanginga. So Faalupega, Faalanginga, kind of interchangeable, right? Faalupe, let it be known, Faalupe Simnea. Faalangi, same, right? That's where these words come from. So it's the actual art of addressing or acknowledging who's present, right? Very important in the Samoan custom. Why is it important? Respect, right? It's kind of like high chief, and you just get up and speak and nothing, you don't even acknowledge them. Man, that's a big no-no. Or that's a sign of disrespect, or a sign of you don't have the skill set, right? Because remember, one of the most important things that we practice as Samoans is we show respect and we show love. Right? So it's very important to have that skill set, to know how to address folks, even at a moment's notice, right? Skilled tulafale should always have some type of Faalanginga or a Faalupega acknowledge Aikanaka, right? At the very minimum, you should always know how to acknowledge a Faifeau. You should always know how to acknowledge a high chief, a high talking chief, and so forth, right? There are salutations or honorifics that you could use that'll cover everybody, right? So that's one way to do it, right? So that's pretty much Faalupega, and that's why we do it first. Besides the forsanga, the makai silaong, e umalo forsanga faalangi pa ia, faalupe pa ia kangaka, right? So right after your opening remarks, it's usually an ancient proverb that Samoans used back in the day that we don't use in common verbiage now. Usually a Faalupega is what you open up your speech with. And right after, Faalupe pa ia. So whoever's there, acknowledging them the proper way is very important. It also tells them that you are a skilled tulafale and that you kind of know the protocols, how to address folks who are present. So, and that's why it's always first. Sometimes you hear people, you see it at funerals, right? Every speaker that goes up there, it's kind of like the first thing they say, right? Fakulod pa ia le saunginga, and so forth and so forth. Then pa ia au whaingaluenga, pa ia Samoa wa poko poko. So all of that is Faalupega, right? So how do you actually learn all this stuff? Well, having a kusi Faalupega is one way, right? I have two here. I think this is 85, or this is 85, and this is earlier. This is an old one. And shout out to the local Mekisi. This was their mission. I think it's their continuing mission to publish these books. Kusi Faalupega, and each village is in here, right? It's interesting to look at both and to see the differences. This one was first, and then this one came later. This is not the first, but this is the copies I have. This is an earlier version, and this is a later version, right? It's good to see both and kind of compare and contrast for you to use it when you're preparing for a speech and you know which village you need to honor, right? So you can start by getting one of these books, and today it's hard to find. I just been fortunate to have these as I was collecting books and trying to buy books to help me out. So that's one way. The other way, use the internet. There's Faalupega on the internet now. Sometimes you have to check its validity, check if it's current or if it's correct by checking with someone who's from that village. That's probably the best way to do it. But I would say for starters, you should know your Faalupega, your village Faalupega. Your parents, each one has a village or two, their mom and their dad, unless their parents are from the same village. Like my mom, her parents are from the same village. And your dad, which also has, at least 4 villages, 3 to 4 villages, right? Start with the one you're most familiar with. Start with the one that you grew up in, if you grew up in Samoa. Now, if you grew up here in the States, start with the village that you're most closest to, like your mom's side or your dad's side, right? Which side are you most closest to? Pick that village, find out the Faalupega by using the book or asking your parents, asking your elders, uncles, aunties, to give you the Faalupega. Write it down. Write it down and start to recite it regularly. Lokamiki, right? And you should know it, right? Word by word, verbatim. And you should always know that. It's your identity. Right? Start off with that. Some of the mistakes some tulafales make, or anybody makes, is just memorizing it blindly, right? Memorizing it blindly, you have to understand why it's structured the way it is, why this specific high chief is first, why this one is second, and so on, right? That means dig into some of the history. Again, ask your parents, ask your elders of the family, why is it structured the way it is? And usually it's a story, right? And so forth, right? So those are the things you should understand. Once you understand the structure of your own village, you can kind of understand that that's kind of like the trend or the structure of all villages, right? Usually high chiefs are first, and then the talking chiefs that speak for the whole village are towards the end, right? And you need to understand that, understand why your particular village is structured the way it is. Because once you understand that, it kind of helps you with the delivery, right? It helps you with the delivery pe a whai Faalupega, it can be Lau Aganuu, right? You always acknowledge the highest chiefs, and then you acknowledge the talking chiefs that kind of speak for the village and for these high chiefs, right? So, in Lau Aganuu Faasoa, that's what we do. We dive deep into these topics. We dive deep into why we do it, what's the purpose behind it, how we can understand it so that we can use it in practice, so that we can use it in real life when you have to get up and speak, right? We target tulafale, seasoned or new ones, or usually the ones who were born here in the States who have a matai title and really need some assistance and help on that skill to better yourself as a tulafale, to learn more, to be more confident when you get up and you speak on behalf of your family. Also deacons. So songi foi mo kia kongo. Ilako kiukele kalesia, getting up and speaking for the whaifeau or for the congregation. It's the same thing, right? How do you acknowledge whaifeau? How do you acknowledge your pulenga, makangaluenga, etc., right? If you're a Methodist, singoki, and so forth, right? Or whatever church, right? Samoan speech is the same regardless of where you're at, right? Those protocols, waanga launga, is the same in any church, in any family, in any village. The structure is usually the same. So if you're interested in that, we do monthly live Zoom sessions. We dig deep into these topics, and the one that's coming up next month, July 18th, is Faalupega. We're going to talk about what I just talked about in this video, but a little deeper, so you can understand it and you can practice it in your role as a matai or a deacon or just as a Samoan learner. So if you want to join us, you can register, and the link is in the description of this video. And I'll see you then. Until then, Yamanduia, the Neyaso, Suifu.